So Adam, let's kick things off with your experience at the Paris Olympics last summer. Obviously, you had a completely different role this time around. You were commentating for TalkSport. How did you find that experience? Obviously, the initial plan was to be competing in Paris.
Yeah, it was a to miss out on that Olympics, to realize that I wasn't going to go and compete there was it was tough to take, to be honest with you. I was devastated. I had a big shoulder rupture that start of that year, which so I knew it was going to be from the start of the year. I knew it was going to be a tough one. It put me out for sort of 5 or 6 months of like I wasn't able to do anything really, any running or anything. And I got myself back, and I felt like I got back into an okay sort of shape, but not enough to be competitive for Team GB. If you're going to be a Team GB sprinter, you need to be competitive globally, and I just wasn't in that form, and I was pretty devastated. And obviously I had my parents were planning to come out to Paris anyway, and yeah, the opportunity arose where Talksport were going to be doing their first sort of Olympic coverage, and they wanted someone for the athletics, and they reached out. And for me, it was I would have been silly to say no to that opportunity to get to go to the Olympics, to watch athletics every single day, watch my teammates, my friends compete, the best seats in the house. It was I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I almost felt more stressed out just expect being a spectator when it's not in your control, watching your friends compete. But yeah, it was great. I had a great time. Tried to promote the sport as much as I can. Talksport were brilliant. They gave me a lot more freedom than I think some other networks maybe would have done. Like I think they really allowed me to take control and talk about athletics and any topics we wanted to talk about. Nothing was off top. Nothing was off sort of sub off topics that don't mention that, don't mention this. So it was fantastic. I really had a great team that I worked with. The producers, Nigel Adley was the main commentator, Natalie Sawyers was the present, and these guys are the best of the best. So to see how they work every single day, and yeah, we had a great time. There were long days, very long days, like getting to the stadium like super early in the morning and staying there all the way to the evening. I wasn't getting home until maybe like 11 o'clock. So they were very, very, very long days. But the team was brilliant. For 2 weeks. It was just yeah. I'm so grateful I had that opportunity to do it.
And you've been very open, obviously, about your injuries and battles with mental health over the last few years.
Yeah.
How important has it been for you to like open up about these struggles and show like the unseen challenges to other athletes?
It was scary at first. Like when I started having like for example anxiety. I've always had the reputation in athletics, I'd say, as being quite happy and smiley and upbeat and chipper, and it wasn't really something I'd ever experienced before. And I think a lot of athletes do suffer in silence. They do. You're As an athlete, you're expected to just soldier on and get on with it. And I just felt that if I can say something, it can open up. And I had a lot of messages from a lot of people saying thank you, and I've suffered with the same sort of anxieties and depressions and injuries, and it can be mentally very, very draining. And there's just not enough talk. There's not enough conversation that happens in our sort of space, especially in sport and sprinting. That like I said, it's you're meant to be a macho. The sprinters are meant to be the big, the testosterone driven, the egos this and aggressive, and I'm just not like that. So yeah, it was a big relief talking about it openly and publicly, and yeah, I all the better for it, to be honest with you. So
And do you feel like, I mean, at like the grassroots level, the support for young athletes has kind of been lacking? Um,
massively,
and if so,
massively,
how could
honestly.
it improve?
So this is a we could have a long conversation about this, and I'm one of a few. I tell you, one of a few athletes that have really, apart from when I'm competing, I've really sat on a lot of commissions. I've been a very big advocate for the athlete voice, and I've been in positions where I've had opportunities to speak to federations and even our own federation about how we can better grow athletics in our country and help support a lot of younger athletes, especially at the grassroots level. And uh, it's not always an easy conversation to have because a lot of these uh, the way athletics is funded is we're funded by UK Sport depending on how many medals you get, and a lot of the investment goes into the elite side of it, which I get, and I'm like I said, I've been a big benefactor of that for my whole career. Really, I've been super lucky, one of the most fortunate athletes in there to be funded for so long. But there is a stage now where that funding does have to be invested back into club roots of athletics and grassroots of athletics, and it just isn't, to be honest with you. Like I volunteer coached at my local track twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, and the appetite for athletes to be in athletics is there. There just isn't the network and support, especially for coaches and young athletes. If their young athlete gets injured, there's no support there for any of them to do anything. There's no advice. The networks aren't properly set up, and that's a conversation myself and a few athletes have really banged our head against the walls trying to talk to the federation and different people. I'm not saying there is big improvement to make. As the biggest Olympic sport, I think I am biased, but athletics, when the Olympics is on, I don't feel like it really does feel like the Olympics until the track and field starts.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like you should be investing a lot more into the grassroots level of athletics and develop that culture. And unfortunately, we don't. And you get, like I said, you get very, very lucky when a generational athlete like Akili comes along and smashes the gold medal and does some amazing things. But then actually, why can't we have five or six Keelys? Why is it only that we have to then rely on the relays and we should have a lot more people making finals? Athletics in Britain, we're not just there to fill lanes, and we've always had that mentality, and I worry that maybe nowadays it's people are okay with maybe, oh, I've just made the team, I got knocked out in the heat, so I just didn't make the semi-final. And no, actually we should hold ourselves to a high standard. You look at the caliber of athletes we've had in the history in athletics in Great Britain, and that comes from support in grassroots. And I think that is something that is severely lacking. And I know a lot of athletes, myself included, have really advocated for that. And it's a challenge that we have to fight. Sometimes I've been told that I've still got my athlete hat on, and when I've had those conversations with relevant people, I get told, "Oh, you've still got your athlete hat on, and if you want to come into this space, then it's about protecting the board and the executives and keeping funding in athletics." But I think there's a balance because yeah, like I said, I can have that conversation with you for a long time, but it has been a frustrating thing, and then obviously there's new announcements in athletics where their junior athletes are going to have to fund their own like a lot some they're going to have to part contribute towards their own trips and stuff. And I know for a fact I'm very very fortunate that I my parents would have made that happen for me somehow. We didn't come from a lot of money, but I know there's a lot of athletes, young athletes out there who probably can't do that. And okay, if you can't fund yourself going to a championships, does that mean you don't get to go? Well, it doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. I think there's definitely room for improvement in that space in the UK, and there's a lot of experience, a lot of athletes that really love to get involved and help, and then they're just not utilized, unfortunately. And I understand why, but it's there's a lot more that could be done.
And you speak about obviously being part of the commission. You're part of the World Athletics Commission as well. How has progress been in terms of like ensuring athletes are at the forefront of those decisions being made?
It's brilliant, honestly. Sitting on the World Athletics Athletes Commission, it's been massively eye-opening to how invested they are in the athlete voice. We're involved in every decision that gets made about the sport. Our chair, Valerie Adams, is fantastic. That she doesn't put up with any rubbish from anyone, and she sits in the board. She'll sit in like the council, the members council, with all the big heads of athletics, and she'll speak up and she'll say, no, athletes come first. We have to. We are the people that put on the performance. I know there's a lot of hard work that goes in from a lot of people, but yeah, sitting on that commission, especially that their athletes are consulted. We're consulted. Our commission is consulted for everything, and they listen to us as well, which is nice. It's not just, oh, let's just tick that box and say we've got an athletes commission, and then actually maybe not. Yeah, yeah, it's nice to say you've got a commission, but unless you're actually listening to what the athletes are saying, which hasn't always been the case, then yeah, it's brilliant at the moment, and they're working on a lot of new things, a lot of innovations to make the sport exciting. Athletics is growing and changing. The world of social media and everything it's and athletics needs to evolve, and I feel like they're finally understanding that and getting that, and doing their best to. They can't always please everyone, and they're not always going to get things right, but at least they're trying. And someone like Seb Coe has really been the forefront of that, and he's really led athletics out of, I'd say, a dark place into, and there's light at the end of that tunnel. And I know he's going for the IOC role now, and I really hope he gets that because I think he'll do fantastic things in that space. It'll be devastating for athletics to lose him, but I know he's put enough in place where athletics will continue to grow. And yeah, I'm super happy and honored to be on that commission, voted by the athletes as well, which was just it was really, it made me smile that they can recognize that I want to help, and they've allowed me in that position to really do my best.
I want to speak about you and your career at the moment. Tough training session this morning. But during the winter, you were training in Dubai, and now obviously you're back training with your first coach. What are
Yeah.
your goals and plans, obviously, for the next few months in terms of your career?
So I just want to. I'm honestly, this has been one of the best winters I've had. Like I said, I'm leaner than I started the season about 85 kilos, 84 kilos. I'm down to 77 kilos at the moment. Like I'm super lean. Yeah, I'm super happy. I'm just happy. Things are going well. I don't feel any pressure. I'm just enjoying each week as it comes, getting myself super fit and fast. I head out to Texas in a couple of weeks for some training and some competitions, and then we'll see where it comes this summer. And I just hope to be super competitive, domestically and internationally. I know I'm at that level. I've been at that level since I was 18. I'm 31 now, so I know I can do it. It's not a fluke. Like I just have to be in the right mindset and be in the right physical condition, and I'm doing my best to get there. And but also balancing that with a lot of external things as well now. Like I'm online coaching. I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot, so I'm always busy, which is a nice change, I guess. And it's nice to be back at home. I've spent my whole adult life abroad, so I haven't really had any time to even like be in my own house. Like I'm living in my own house and like finally like putting pictures on the wall and getting new bits of furniture and just loads of stuff. So I'm yeah in a good space in my athletics career at the moment, and this might be my last year. If it is, then that'd be sad. But I'm also really happy that I've had a really long, and some people are lucky to get one Olympics, two Olympics, three. I've had three, and I only just missed out on Paris as well. So I feel like I've done my dues, and I've earned I've earned some rest when it will come. So no, I'm in a good place at the moment, and I'm excited to see how the season progresses. Like I said, I'm not just training. If I didn't think I could still be competitive, I wouldn't. I wouldn't put my body through some of the sessions I've been putting my body through this winter. Honestly, like today was brutal. The last couple of days have been brutal, and I'm enjoying a little rest day tomorrow. I play a little round of golf as well, which will be nice, and yeah, just chill out a little bit.
You speak about obviously the online coaching. How are you finding that new venture?
I'm loving it, to be honest with you. It was a lot. Like when I first, I didn't want to take on too much, and I never thought I'd want to do something like that, and I had did a lot of research, and again yourself, you might see this a lot. Like everyone's a coach for some, and actually that not a lot of people have the qualifications and really the understanding of sport and how the body does work to really back it up. And I was just seeing some crazy stuff online, and a lot of people came to me and said, "Oh, are you able to maybe do me a program? Could you do this? Could you do that? Could you help me out?" And I was thinking, actually, there is an appetite for it, and I do want to just give back to my audience and the public that have. Sorry, I want to give back to the audience and the public that have really supported me over my career. And what's the best way that I can do that? This is what I'm good at. I've been doing it my whole adult life. I understand it more so than I think most people will. And yeah, like I said, it's busy. It is busy because I feel so invested in other people now, and I really them achieving their goals is almost as what I used to feel like when I achieved my goals. It's the same sort of feeling I get, maybe even more so because it's someone else that I'm helping to do that. And yeah, I'm just going to try and grow that as much as I can. And like I said, people want to work with me, then I'm the options there. And I don't think it's something that many athletes of my sort of experience are really offering. So for me, that's why it's quite unique. And everyone I've been working with so far has been loving it and super grateful and happy. So yeah, I hope to continue it and continue hoping trying to make it grow and yeah, try and get as many at the moment while I'm still training, it's harder to take on new clients all the time, but I'm hoping as the season progresses and things get a little bit easier, I can take on more clients and work with more people and yeah, grow it that way. But it's been fantastic and a lot of learning, a lot of learning.
Because it initially started in 2020, didn't it? There was an Instagram page, Adam Gemili Fitness Coaching.
Yeah, that was just me putting up honestly, that was me putting up workouts, putting up different things on my Instagram, my fitness page. That was just trying to help people get fit and healthy and happy and like I said, it for myself when I was in a bad mental space, I know the best thing for me is to get out and do like a workout and really focus on myself and make myself as healthy as possible. And now I've been able to turn that hopefully into a business that can hopefully thrive and help as many people as possible and just teach people what I know. I've like I said, I've had a very long career in sport. I've worked with the best coaches, the best S&C coaches, the best nutritionists. And if I can share that information with the general public, like I'm not really working with any athletes. I'm working with they're just normal everyday people. Just everyone's got different goals. One guy that wants to run 100 miles in a month. One guy just wants to feel more confident in the gym. One guy wants to feel a lady maybe going through menopause who's struggling with weight and confidence. And so my client range it varies with everyone. And like I said, I've got experience and knowledge to help as many people as I can. So it's something I've always been passionate about. I just never thought it would be yeah, the something I really want to put my all into and grow and help people. So
And you studied sports and exercise science at university. Has that helped
I
obviously
did.
shape your approach?
Oh, massively, massively. I realized that I can't approach that as I approach my own athletics training. Like I'm pretty strict, I'm pretty brutal, I'm pretty like, yeah, I am on it a lot. Like when I train, it's if I gave people the same training that I do and the same sort of like, so I have to adjust it and adapt it. And that degree that I got at university is finally coming, it's finally coming into use. And I feel like it's really helped me, especially with like the psychology side, the biomechanics side understanding the physiology side of it, which is the massive part of it, and that's all something I've learned from my career as well. So it's yeah, it's been an awesome journey so far. I'm still at the end the start of it, so there are some mistakes that I think, oh, maybe I should have done this or that. But everyone I'm working with is great. All the people I have the weekly communication with everyone, the weekly calls with everyone. I Most people want to talk about their career, talk about the program for a bit, and then they're just like, all right, can you tell us about this Olympics? What's Usain like? What's the village like? What is this really true? What happens? What and it's lovely to reminisce and talk and build a friendship with people as well. Not just a that's what I like. I'm a people person. I enjoy having that conversation with people, and it's something I've loved.
I do want to touch obviously on your career on the track. On and off the track, could you give me your most memorable moments from your career?
So on the track, I think it would be hard not to say the relay in 2017 when we won the World Championships. That was I've had a few successes like when I won my first European gold was in the 200 was my World Junior title, but I think for the sake of it being in London and it was the last event, it was all the big dogs were there, Jamaicans were there, Americans were there, and we did it in our house. Like the crowd stayed, and we just got to like up. There was nights that time where I was hugging the boys, and I didn't want to let go, and it was such a special night. And I remember getting back to the hotel after, and I sat down with all four of them, and we just sat in the hotel lobby, and we just went, wow, what just happened? What just happened? And that for me on the track, that was one of my absolute highlights. That was for me when I look back and I could live a night again, it would probably be that night. Off the track, I've had many moments off the track. I think one that really sticks out to me was in Tokyo. I was with my good friends Holly Bradshaw, Andrew Posey, and Katarina Johnson Thompson, and myself and Katarina hadn't didn't we got injured at the Olympics, so our Olympics didn't really go that well, and our friend Holly. won an Olympic bronze medal, and we waited around back at the village for her, and we she came back and she came straight to us, and we spent the night celebrating just on the grass, just having a few drinks, talking, catching up, and loads of the staff came out and different athletes, and it was just that was such a good experience there. Like it was, even though I didn't have the Olympics that I wanted to have, it was nice to share a celebration with someone that I was so close to. And yeah, I there was that night was a super special one that I'll always remember, and I'm super grateful for. I have a picture from that night up in my gym. That Katerina got me for my birthday, and when I look at that, it brings back those happy memories of that time.
And you said like this could be your last year. When the time obviously comes to transition from competing, do you see yourself potentially maybe as like an athletics coach for the next generation of Team GB athletes, or
I never, I never, I never, I never thought that, to be honest with you. I never officially thought. I always wanted to work in the governance side of sport. That was what I'd always wanted to do, and I realized as I got in those rooms a little bit more that it's a lot harder. Like I said, I've been told that maybe I've still got my athlete hat on, and it's about maybe not protecting the younger athletes. Maybe it's about protecting the executive, the board. I guess that's so I've realized I want to give back everything that I've learned, and the best way for me to do that is this coaching, and I think that is where I could see myself. But I do, like I said, I think I could make bigger changes in those rooms. I'm confident enough to speak, and it's just about giving the opportunity. There's a lot of athletes who really want to be in those board in those rooms making those changes, and they don't always get the opportunities. I'm like I said, I'm very low down the pecking order in terms of other athletes above me who've really done their dues and really committed to the sport. And like I said, it's just they're not utilized enough. And unfortunately, I've done my best. I've really committed on and off the track, given a lot of myself to that, and I will always. I just want to help grow the sport, help grow athletics. It's such a brilliant sport. There's something for everyone. That's the hardest thing when I say to people, there's literally doesn't matter if you throw, if you jump, you do long distance, short distance, like whatever it is, there is something for you, and it's a beautiful sport. It's sport in its purest form. There's nothing special. It's who's the fastest, who can jump the lot furthest. Like it's basics, and anything I can do to promote it and teach anyone that what I know. I've been lucky to have a long career. Anything I can teach and pass on that information, pass on that knowledge, then I feel like I've done. That makes me happy. So for sure, yeah.
and just lastly, what does the rest of 2025 look like? What does a perfect 2025 look like? If this is obviously the swan song of your career, what does it look
I
like?
I'd love to run fast. I'd love to be healthy. I'd love to get through this year healthy and happy. I'd love to make the World Championships this September. It's been people might say, "Oh yeah, Adam, forget about that. He's old. He's a has been." But I know myself, and I know what I can do, and I know mentally where I can take myself to get to places. And not everyone has that side of them. I've been in finals. I've been challenging for medals, and I know what I'm capable of. So if it was a perfect 2025, I'd go to the World Championships. I'd be competitive there. I'd do Great Britain proud, and I could literally say thanks for coming, guys. See you later. Retire, and I'll see you. I'll see you on the flip side, really. So get through the year happy, get through the year healthy, and yeah, hopefully, yeah, grow this online coaching business as much as I can, and give back as much as I can as well. So that would be for me the best 2025.